I'm 1 minute and 12 seconds faster per kilometer by building my aerobic base using the Maffetone method. The formula I used was 180 minus your age, and that's the beats per minute you will run or stay below. Get to this point in my training, I ran 2,874 kilometers, 352 hours, 26,000 meters of elevation, and I lost 28 pounds. All this was achieved by running in Zone 2, slow aerobic base training with 0 injuries. And later in the video, I'll show you my running results from 1 year of running slow. Here are the 7 reasons why you should not skip MAF training. Building a strong aerobic base. Look, I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a story on this one. When I started using this method, I was not in a very good place physically. I was struggling to improve in my running. I honestly wasn't happy. I was just in a rough place. Now, I wanted to run an ultra marathon, and I didn't know how I was going to be able to do it in the condition that I was in. And so I kind of went through my notes from a number of years ago, and I realized, wait a minute, I could try doing this Maffetone method, which is like slow running, zone 2 running. And if I do this for a period of time, I'll be able to build up my mileage to get me to the start line of my ultra marathon. And you know what? It flippin' worked. I was able to run longer, faster at the same heart rate over time. And then with all that fitness, I was able to run my 50 miler in just under 11 hours. And that was freaking amazing.
Now that I'm looking back, I can see all the signs I tried to fill in the cracks that were spreading in my mind, but I was all out of hope, lost in an endless maze. The emptiness had afforded just like a void, but
build up that mileage and not really get tired. Like, I come in off of a run and I'm feeling epic. I don't feel tired. I feel like I just can keep on going. It's like one of those zones where it's like you're just cruising and you can just keep going for like a long time. It helps you understand what easy running is. I wasn't too sure what easy running was when I started this whole thing, but one of the things that heart rate training allowed me to do was slow down, pay attention to how my body was feeling, not push it too much, and keep it in that zone. Because if I went by perceived effort, I didn't really know what perceived effort was, because everyone's got a different perceived effort. And I didn't want to run too fast. It's like a kid in the candy store without their parents. They just go ahead and will just eat everything. There's no one there to monitor it. By using your heart rate, you can monitor what's going on, and then you can understand what your body is telling you, and then you understand what easy running is. I didn't realize what I ate and what I drank could actually do to my body. I didn't realize how slow I could run. I didn't realize how sluggish I could feel, how awful I would feel if I ate a lot of sugar. And if I had a lot of caffeine in the morning before I would go for a run, I didn't realize that that would affect what my heart rate would be. And so if I was training using heart rate, it was very hard for me to turn around and go, you know what, this sucks, this isn't working. But I was kind of sabotaging what I was doing because I wasn't really clued into how my diet contributed to my heart rate. And that was a big sign for me that I needed to change something. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have a stressful job. I work with the public and I take on a lot of their stresses. Now, not only that, but I'm a family guy. I have a family, I'm a husband, a father, and here's the thing, right? Those duties of responsibility can't be delegated to kind of anyone else. Like that's me, right? And so when you're trying to have this work-life balance along with being a YouTuber, along with trying to train to run for an ultra marathon or a 10K or a 5K, look, a lot of stress happens because of that. If you have deadlines in your job that you have to meet, if there's financial stress because times are lean and inflation is really high, that stress plays on you as a person, as a runner. And I didn't realize what effect that would have on my heart rate when I started this whole thing. But that's one thing that I did eventually understand. Look, if you are stressed out, You need to mitigate the stress, because otherwise you're going to get very frustrated in your running and you're going to go, you know what, the heck with it, I'm not going to bother doing it anymore. If you're coming down with a cold, if you're getting sick, one of the things that can help you understand what's going on is your heart rate. I've noticed that if I started to get sick, my heart rate would rise, and then soon enough, like the symptoms would start to appear, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is nuts. I'm now sick, and my heart rate was telling me what was going on all along. Now, testing your performance every month is an amazing thing. So the Maffetone method turns around and says, look, you need to be able to run the same route month after month, and hopefully you're going to see an improvement with your training. And if you don't see an improvement with your training, you'll see it right there, and you'll know how to go ahead and take action on it. If you start to plateau, okay, it may be time that you need to do some speed work. And if that's the case, then things gonna change in your routine, right? You may have to drop your mileage and then increase your speed and switch to maybe an 80-20 for a couple of weeks. And then return back and then see what happens the following month with your Maffetone training. Because one thing I have noticed is when that happened to me, I started to see results when I added some speed work in. Now here's something that I have dealt with for quite a long time. And if you are following along on my channel, you understand what I'm about to say. You become a fat burner when you start using the Maffetone method. Like me, I really started to kind of understand what this was all about when I knew what hitting the wall was, right? When I ran my marathon a number of years ago in Hamilton, I hit the wall. I never knew what that meaning was. And the feeling was quite astounding when you literally go from running to walking because you literally can't run. Your body will shut you down. And if you can't switch into the whole fat burning, you can't get that energy and your body starts to handle all of this. The other thing is if you don't have enough electrolytes, that'll be something else that's gonna shut you down. But I learned being a fat burner, I was able to run longer, run further, be able to be in that zone and not have to worry about trying to fuel my run, because I was already running really slow. And when you're in that fat burning zone, as they call it, zone 2, it really does make a difference in terms of how you're performing if you're running long distance. And it's made a big difference in my training. Something else that Maffetone method has really helped me with is dealing with my ego. Look, you may walk, you may have to run really slowly. And because of that, your ego is gonna be hurt. It's gonna be damaged. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, look, I am a fast marathon runner. I'm a fast 10K runner. And now you're telling me that I have to walk? What the heck is this? Let pain go out your ears, baby. Pain go out your ears. I got this.
I don't even need to motivate this guy.
Like, what am I doing? Like, the ego plays all of these things and throws all these things at you. And what's one of the things that I've had to overcome was dealing with the ego. And by switching to the Maffetone method, by not skipping it, not giving up on it, and not, and the reasons why you shouldn't give up on it are all of the things I've talked about. Because if you do, you never get that chance to build a strong aerobic base, just like building a house. If you don't build a house, if you don't build the foundation of the house, the rest of it's just not going to stand up well. And the same thing that can happen with you in your training. Look, I'm no expert. I'm sure there's better runners out there than me. I'm guaranteed of that. However, I learned from everybody, and there's other ways of training. And using the Maffetone method in conjunction with 80-20, that means 20% more speed, is a good mix. If you can stick this out for about 3 to 6 months, you can see some good results. It's flippin' amazing how much I've improved using the Maffetone method over the last year. God, I just don't want you guys to skip out on the benefits that you can get from using this method. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. I mean, when it gets hot outside, God, using the Maffetone method can be so frustrating. But then when it cools down like it is right now, it's like, man, this is like the best thing ever. It just feels like I found free speed. Man, it plays such a big role. Now I do have to talk about injuries, because when you're training so slowly using the Maffetone method, you're probably thinking, I'm not gonna get injured. And for the majority of you, you're gonna be good, because the faster you run, the longer that you do that, you tend to pick up injuries. So when you're running so slow, it's just a little faster than a walk, to be quite honest. So the chances of picking up an injury from running is really going to be more of a physical thing when it comes to, if you trip or you fall off of a curb, or I don't know, you twist your ankle or something like that. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be good. However, and this is one thing that I will say for a fact, is overuse injuries can still happen if you use the Maffetone method, because it allows you to run longer and further at the same heart rate. So if you start kind of pushing the boundary too much, too fast, too soon, yeah, you can pick up that injury. And that's what happened to me after my ultra marathon. I came back too fast, too soon, and I picked up, a knee injury, and it kind of sucked. And I kind of went through the process of, rehabbing it and whatever. And it was frustrating because I had to change the type of car that I drove, because how my foot was on the gas pedal was affecting my knee. So just like weird things in life, right? So anyways, it's not a cure-all for everything. You do have to pay attention to what the heck you're doing. Now, with regards to how much you should be running, well, that's going to be strictly up to you and how you build up your aerobic base. So if you're new and you're kind of starting off with, a couple of days running, 4K, 5K, 2 miles, 3 miles, work your way up to like 6 miles. Look, it's all gonna strictly be up to you on how you build that. But I do have a training plan that I'll link down below in the description. I put a lot of time and effort into these videos, and if you guys find this very helpful in any way, or if you wanna follow my journey on me losing weight, being able to run 100-miler, marathons, half marathons, think about maybe subscribing. It really does help me. And if you're not seeing the results that you're wanting to see, it could be a number of reasons. And this video right here will help you understand what those are. Like I always say, get out and run.